Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Cook of Soak. If you know me, then you know the one thing that I truly love about video games and fantasy worlds is well-developed lore. And the lore I really enjoy delving into is that found in the world of the Elder Scrolls. So today, we will take a trip to Nirn and experience a recipe from the Elder Scrolls Cookbook Volume 1 by Chelsea Monroe-Cassel. Meadow Rye Bread. To a large bowl, combine 1 cup of wheat flour, 1½ cups of rye flour, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon baking soda, and 1 teaspoon salt. Mix, then add the dried currants, about 1/2 cup. To be honest, currants taste just like small raisins that are just a little bit more expensive. So unless you want to go all out, I would just stick with raisins. Make sure you give your raisins or currants a stir so that they're coated in the flour. Time for our liquids. We'll start with 1/2 cup of beer. I'm using Guinness Extra Stout since we are getting close to St. Patrick's Day and I want to be a little bit festive. Give it a stir and then add buttermilk to that, 1/2 cup as well. If you don't have buttermilk like me, you could always make a substitute out of whatever milk you have on hand with a little bit of vinegar. I went for heavy cream and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You could even use lemon juice if you don't have vinegar. Mix it all until a dough forms. It turns out I needed a little bit more liquid, and instead of adding more buttermilk, I decided to add more beer. I think in total, I added about 1½ cups of beer. Once you have your dough ball, place it on a parchment-lined baking sheet with a little bit of flour. Using wet hands, shape your dough into a round loaf. Using a wet knife, score the bread however you like. I am just making an X. Bake for about 40 minutes at 400 degrees. When it comes out, check the bottom by tapping, and hopefully your loaf will sound hollow too. I had some trouble with my hot loaf and trying to tap the bottom. I didn't burn myself, but it was still quite hot. You could always use a thermometer in which the inside of your loaf should be no less than 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Let the bread cool for 30 minutes before enjoying. Let's give this a try. Unfortunately, in the time I was setting up to try the loaf for everyone, it was devoured, and this is all that remains. I admit I was amongst the guilty. Hey, I was hungry. The bread is nice and light. There is a nice balance of the rye and wheat flours, so you're not overwhelmed by one flavor. The currants provide a little chew, and the flavor of the beer comes through nicely. I can see myself eating this with Irish butter and a nice stew. If you tried this recipe, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you next time, and happy St. Patrick's Day.